right, ready to dive into some League Two action.
Always.
Let's break down this AFC Wimbledon versus CREWE Alexandra matchup. And of course, this deep dive prediction is brought to you by therealfl.co.uk.
Big game coming up. Both teams are breathing down each other's necks in the standings. Huge implications for promotion.
No doubt about it. So, prediction number one. This might raise some eyebrows. We're actually leaning towards a draw for this one.
Yeah, a draw. Might not sound like the most thrilling prediction, but stick with us here. First off, you've got those odds at 115, which is pretty enticing. But it's more than just the odds. These two teams, they just have a knack for stalemates.
A knack, huh?
Seriously, it's 5 straight encounters ending in a draw. Look at their recent form. AFC Wimbledon, 3 draws out of their last 5. CREWE Alexandra, same story, 3 draws in their last 6.
Okay, so it's not just a gut feeling. We're seeing a pattern here. But a draw doesn't tell us the whole story, right? It doesn't tell us about the actual scoreline. What are we thinking in terms of goals?
And that brings us to prediction number 2. Under 2.5 goals. We're putting the odds at 8.15 for this one.
I like those odds.
Right, and look, it's not just because their head-to-heads tend to be tight. Both of these teams have been playing some seriously low-scoring games recently.
That makes sense. I mean, you look at AFC Wimbledon's defensive record. Only 20 goals allowed all season. That's incredible.
Exactly. And CREWE, not far behind, conceding just 28. It's fascinating, right? Both teams have built their success on these really solid, well-organized defenses. They don't give up many easy chances. You factor that in with their tendency towards draws, well, it's pointing us towards a tight, low-scoring affair.
Okay, so we've got the draw. We've got under 2.5 goals. I'm sensing a theme here.
You're catching on. It all leads us to prediction number 3. A 1-1 correct score. Odds looking pretty good at 61.
Now, those are some odds that'll make you pay attention. What makes us so confident about that specific scoreline, though?
Well, think about it. 19 draws between these two teams just this season alone. That tells you something about these matchups, right? 7 out of their last 10 meetings have ended in a draw. And get this, 4 of those draws were 1-1. Including the last 2 times they played each other.
So it's not just that they draw a lot, it's that they draw with that exact score against each other, more often than not.
Exactly. It's like they're destined to play out these incredibly tight, evenly matched battles. Battles that end in a 1-1 stalemate. Of course, to really understand these predictions, we need to take a closer look at the teams themselves.
Let's do it. Let's talk team form and key players, starting with AFC Wimbledon. They're on quite the unbeaten run at the moment, aren't they?
Absolutely. 8 matches unbeaten, 4 of those being wins. Definitely one of the hottest teams in League Two right now. And they've got that promotion in their sights. One of the big reasons for their success, though, the goal-scoring form of Matthew Stevens. Leading scorer, 13 goals this season already.
He's been fantastic. And I've got to say, I've been really impressed by James Tilley's creativity in midfield. 5 assists already, creating a ton of chances for his teammates.
Definitely one to watch, for sure. Now, switching gears to CREWE Alexandra. Things haven't been quite as smooth sailing over there recently.
Yeah, they've hit a bit of a rough patch, haven't they? Only 1 win in their last 6 matches.
That's right. They're still hanging just outside the playoff spot, so definitely not out of the running yet. But when they do manage to find the back of the net, it's often their star player, Jack Lancaster, making things happen. He's a real double threat. Leads the team in both goals and assists. 7 goals and 5 assists so far.
Yeah, he's definitely their danger man. But we're talking about 2 teams, right? 2 teams with a history of, well, some really tight battles. Lots of draws.
Absolutely, and that's what makes this head-to-head record so interesting. Like we said, 7 out of their last 10 meetings have ended in draws. But it's more than just the number, you know, it's the way these games play out.
The drama, the tension, those nail-biters.
Exactly. Think about that game back in the 2023-24 season. AFC Wimbledon, they were cruising. Halftime, up 2-0. Looked like they had it in the bag.
I remember that one.
And then CREWE, this amazing comeback, clawed their way back into the match, and then boom, the equalizer. Added time.
Classic football, right? Those dramatic turnarounds keeps you on the edge of your seat. That's why we love it.
It is, and it just shows you, right? That's why we're leaning toward another draw in this one.
Okay, so let's recap for everyone listening. We've got AFC Wimbledon, red-hot form, going up against CREWE Alexandra, who are trying to bounce back from a bit of a dip. Based on all this history of draws, their defensive styles, and how unpredictable these matches always are, well, we're predicting another draw, maybe a 1-1 thriller. all in this massive League Two clash.
That's right. But, gotta say it, these are just predictions. We're not, we don't have a crystal ball or anything. Football can be full of surprises.
Exactly. That's what keeps things interesting. Speaking of interesting, if you want even more on this AFC Wimbledon versus CREWE Alexandra matchup, we've got you covered. Head over to therealfl.co.uk. We've got a full article, breaks down everything you need to know, team news, stats, probable lineups, you name it.
Everything. AFC Wimbledon versus CREWE Alexandra, all in one place.
So, big question. Will we see a clear winner this time? Or are we in for another one of those tense, hard-fought draws?
Well, the ball is round, isn't it? Anything can happen.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
So tune in, everyone. Get ready for a good one. Should be a great match between two teams fighting for that promotion.
Thinking about it, we've talked a lot about these teams' defenses, right? But I can't get that 3-0 loss out of my head, the one CREWE suffered at home against Newport County. Yeah. It does stand out, doesn't it? Considering how good they usually are defensively, both teams, really. It's interesting, though, because in that match, CREWE's backline, the one they usually rely on, they just had an off day, it seemed. Some uncharacteristic errors. And Newport, well, they were just clinical, capitalized on every mistake.
Right. So the question is this a sign that things are starting to, crack under pressure? Or was it just a one-off, a blip? Could this be a chance for AFC Wimbledon to take advantage, maybe exploit some weaknesses?
That's the big question, isn't it? And it's something we'll definitely be watching for in this match. If AFC Wimbledon can put the pressure on, force those mistakes again, well, maybe they have a shot at breaking this draw streak.
But AFC Wimbledon are coming off a draw themselves, right? Against Accrington Stanley. They haven't exactly been, blowing teams out of the water.
Yeah.
Even though they're on that unbeaten run.
True. It does suggest that maybe, even though they're so defensively sound, maybe they're lacking a little bit of that cutting edge in attack, which, kind of reinforces that idea that we could be in for another one of those tight, low-scoring matches.
Sounds like this one's going to be a real tactical battle. Both sides, they're going to have to adjust. Think about those recent performances, and obviously the stakes are high. So will AFC Wimbledon go for it? Try and press that advantage? Go for the win? Or will they play it safe? Prioritize getting at least a point.
And what about CREWE? How will they respond? Will they come out firing, looking to make a statement after that heavy defeat? Or will they be a bit more conservative, Shore up that defense, try and frustrate AFC Wimbledon.
All these questions, we'll find out the answers on match day, right? One thing's for sure, though. This AFC Wimbledon versus CREWE Alexandra clash, it's going to be a good one. Lots of intrigue. Definitely some suspense.
And hey, don't forget, if you want a closer look at this matchup, predicted lineups, all the latest team news, check out our full article over at therealfl.co.uk. We've got all the details there.
So who's going to come out on top in this battle for promotion? Will Wimbledon extend that unbeaten run? Or will CREWE get back on track with a big win?
We've given you our predictions, but at the end of the day, that's the beauty of football, isn't it? It's unpredictable.
And that's why we love it. Enjoy the match, everyone.